My name is Melissa Stout. I'm originally from West Virginia, moved to Columbus about 1.5 years ago. Not long after living here, I was in a car accident where I was stopped in traffic and a vehicle came through an intersection and rear-ended us. That concussion left me with some optometric problems and some vestibular problems, which eventually led me to Dr. Curtis. So as time went on over the next couple months after I was in the accident, I got more and more symptoms. It was hard to see. I had really bright flashes of light, debilitating headaches. It eventually got to the point that I couldn't go to work. I couldn't keep my balance. Going in stores was difficult. I couldn't handle the lights. I couldn't drive because I couldn't handle the lights at night. During the daytime, I couldn't distinguish where cars were around me. I couldn't go and do social things. I couldn't go to the gym anymore. Basically, by the time I got to Dr. Curtis, everything that was normal about my life was gone. My quality of life basically went to none. Everything that I enjoyed, I couldn't do anymore. Even day-to-day things that people don't enjoy, like doing laundry or grocery shopping, I couldn't do that either. My neurologist referred me here to get some treatment because he trusted him and knew that he could help me. They did some CAT scans, they did some evaluations. None of that seemed to help. I was also doing vestibular therapy, which was helping the vestibular part of my problem, but even during those, they could tell that there was more going on. Mostly I was most nervous that it wouldn't work enough to really get me back to even remotely normal for me. I wasn't very nervous about the actual treatments. I felt like Dr. Curtis really made sure that I understood everything that was going to go on, but just very nervous that it wasn't going to give the results. Nothing else had. When you come in and you go downstairs and you lay on this bed, and it's a very strange feeling because it's not like anything that you've ever gone through before. You have the light box above you, and different music that you listen to, and then you do some different exercises and flexibility things for your eyes. And the first couple days were actually really therapeutic. Felt a lot better after I left. Then the middle part, like Dr. Curtis said, would be difficult, and it got really difficult really quickly. And Dr. Curtis came and talked to me and told me, I promise it will get better, and it did. So don't be discouraged if it gets hard in the middle, because it probably will, but then it does get better. And by the end, I felt like a new person. The at-home light box was really wonderful. Anytime that my symptoms got worse, I could do that, and it helped. It at least took the edge off. It was really kind of sad to bring it back and turn it back in, because it was a very nice thing to get to look at that light and get a little bit of comfort. So the different lights and different things triggered a lot of emotional feelings, excessive emotional feelings that were difficult to kind of deal with throughout the day. I also had more headaches, and I was more tired during the day. And I mean, there were some days where I'd go to my treatment, I'd go home, and I'd pretty much just hang out in the room all day because I couldn't handle being around people. I couldn't handle the lights. I couldn't handle doing anything, really. It just kind of amplified everything that we were working on, plus the emotions. I did. Support from family and friends was really very vital through all of this for a lot of reasons. One, you're going through something that is difficult, no matter if your symptoms are getting worse or not. And then the days where the symptoms were worse, they were really important to just help remind you that there's a reason that you're doing this, and that it may be hard for a little bit, but it's worth it in the end. I gained my life back, to put it in a short phrase, but specifically, I have virtually no headaches now, and when I do, they're very manageable. I can work out, I can go grocery shopping, I can do pretty much everything that I did before. I can work now. It felt really nice to be able to go back to work and have some kind of normal schedule. I can drive, which was really a nice thing, to be able to not feel like I was trapped inside of my house. I can keep my balance when I walk around. There are little things, for example, nighttime driving, sometimes low beams look a little more like high beams. I am still a little more sensitive to very bright lights, a little more, I notice changes in light a little more than I did, but nothing that impairs my life to the point that I can't function. It sounds a little far-fetched when you first hear about it. It sounds like there's something there that you've never heard of before from other people, but that does not mean that it doesn't work. It's not fun at all times. It's difficult sometimes, but at the end of it, you'll feel like everything that you lost is back. And that's really the most important thing. I thought at first, before I started, that this was going to be really difficult to stick to, but it really wasn't. Especially the at-home stuff, because like I said, it made it actually seem a little better. And coming in here, you could tell such a big difference that it made it easy to do everything they said. And Dr. Curtis was very upfront with the good and bad things that may go on. So I didn't feel like there were surprises. I didn't feel like there were things that I weren't expecting that were happening. And I didn't think that it was difficult. There were a few days in the middle where it got bad that it was a little more difficult to get myself here, but it was never difficult to the point that I knew that it wasn't worth it. He was so professional and yet so caring, which is really hard to find in doctors and really in life in general. He was so thorough, and I could tell that this is genuinely his passion. He doesn't just do this, he actually cares about everything. He was so upfront and honest with everything that went on, and it made it so much more comforting to feel okay with what was going on and to feel like this could actually work. And it wasn't just the first visit. It wasn't just, oh, he was really nice the first time, but then I never saw him again, or he was never available whenever I needed him. Anytime that I had questions, anytime that I wasn't really feeling okay, he had no problem making sure that he made time to talk with me and let me know that everything was fine and that everything was going to get better. And he really put a lot of focus on follow-through, making sure that each step of the way, that everything was going the way that it should. And if it wasn't, what could he change to make things better? And I never felt like he left me high and dry. The staff here is absolutely amazing. felt completely comfortable with them every day. I didn't feel like I was just another patient walking in the room. In fact, I'm a radiation therapist, so I see patients every day. And when I went back to work, I told everyone, if we can just be as good with patients and make them feel as okay as I did, then we're doing our job.